Joining us is the CEO of the Australian British Chamber of Commerce, David McCredie. Very good morning to you, David. Been a busy old time. I know you've been in the UK yourself. First up, the free trade agreement.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Yeah, look, we're inching ever closer, and look, both sides are very confident we're going to get this done by the end of the year. And talking to our members, particularly on both sides of the equation, as I have for the first time in quite a while, face to face in the UK recently, real excitement about the opportunity to not just to get the deal done, but to really uplift the trade and particularly the investment and the mobility between the two countries. So we're really close. Not quite there yet, but watch this space. I don't think it's very far away at all.
How did the whole process go in this world where we haven't done much travel outside our own LGA?
Well, look, the travelling to the UK part was pretty straightforward. As long as you're prepared to get the swab up the nose in the back of the throat a few times along the journey, and hand in the results and pass through the normal paperwork as well. It's actually pretty straightforward. And coming home into Australia after the quarantine, rules have been relaxed here in New South Wales was really straightforward, very easy. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of our friends from the UK with Australian citizenship coming home for Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, COP26, it continues. We're into the second week now.
Yeah, look, it's been an interesting ride, hasn't it? I mean, obviously, Australia finally put up their net zero by 2050 commitment as we headed into the summit. And it's been really interesting to see where we actually sit on the world stage. I think we spent a lot of time, really giving ourselves a hard time about having not made enough of an effort. And I'm not saying that we have made enough of an effort necessarily either, but it's interesting to see where everybody else's cards are actually falling and how some of these things will actually play out. I think, I'd like to see us be a bit more adventurous. I think the really good thing is that we can be really confident in the numbers that we have. And whilst the federal government may not be as forward-leaning on their targets, when you add together the states, what the private sector is doing, I think we can make a really good fist of this from an Australian perspective. In terms of COP, how's that actually going? Look, I think it's a really challenging environment, and I think one of the things that I'd suggest is that having had the Leaders Summit part right at the outset, I think it's made the second or the rest of the first week and as we head into the second week, a little bit harder for organisers to keep that momentum and energy going. I mean, when you know there's a deadline at the back end, and there is a deadline still for the communique to go out, for the text to be agreed. But when the leaders are there at the end, you sort of get that feeling that anything's still possible right at the last moment. Whereas I think it sort of feels like it's just ebbing along a little bit at the moment. We really want to see some extra drive. But having said that, there's been some great pieces that have come together, not just from governments, but the Glasgow Chamber of Commerce and the British Chambers of Commerce in the UK have been running a program alongside, as have the City of London, which I've been tuning into from here in Australia. And look, it's been really positive to hear front runners like our own Macquarie, Fortescue as well, Ampol even leading in and really looking to take forward ambitious targets and being strong parts of this. Really looking forward to the sustainable building future piece in the next few days when organisations like Lendlease are leading the world in this area, and it's a great opportunity for us to hear more and see them leading on our behalf on the global stage.
What about the latest with EU-UK relations in light of Brexit?
Yeah, it's been a fun time the last few weeks, hasn't it? I mean, obviously, from an Australian perspective, we all know that we've irritated the French no end, and we've seen Joe Biden try and smooth the waters a little bit with the French over the last couple of weeks. Where the UK sits with the EU and particularly with France is quite an interesting situation at the moment. So I'm not sure how much you've seen over here, but certainly the rights of French fishermen in the English Channel. About 96% of the French fishing fleet apparently has been issued a licence. There's only about 4% that haven't. They tend to be smaller craft that don't have the tracking systems of the larger craft. The UK haven't given them the rights to fish as yet in what are now British waters again, not combined EU waters. And so there's a little bit of angst going on there, but that's also covering up the fact that at the moment, Lord Frost is also trying to renegotiate the Northern Irish Protocol with the EU. There's lots of animosity on various things, and people really pushing to the limits to find out where we can get things to actually finally land. And I think, as with the way that things have happened previously, I think we'll come to a point where it needs to be resolved. It'll get resolved, and everything will be okay in the world again. It just needs a little bit of pragmatism and a little bit of time.
Well, on a lighter, brighter note, we saw some of the English players arrive in the country last night ahead of the Ashes. Meanwhile, the T20 World Cup is continuing, and both Australia and England are in the semi-finals.
Yeah, a pretty incredible win by England actually this morning. But look, really looking forward to the Ashes. It's great to feel like summer's here, the sun's out where I am, and it's going to be a great opportunity to get back to the cricket ovals and get back to feeling like we're back to a level of normality. England being back is terrific. Great to see Ben Stokes has joined them after his layoff due to mental health issues, but really great to see their families are here. The time that they'll spend with us will be on the basis that they can perform at their best, which is exactly what we want to see. It'll be a tough challenge for Australia. We haven't played Test cricket for quite a while now. The English had a number of tests during their summer, so they're ready ready and rearing to go. Although having lost India in the home series probably wasn't the ideal build-up, but look, it's going to be great. We've got lots of Ashes lunches, as you know, Timmy, leading in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide. We're hoping for a breakfast in Perth early in the new year. Borders hopefully allowing that to go ahead, but really looking forward to the cricket. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, great to see that events are back. Had the honour of emceeing an event last night for the Trish MS Foundation, a family-run foundation that's raised nearly $6 million for multiple sclerosis research. And when you think a lot of charities haven't had the opportunity to have their traditional fundraisers, it was really, really touching last night. And I know that it's a big part of your program. Ian Botham will be out here as well. These events form a huge part of the structure of your Ashes relationship.
Yeah, look, firstly, I might just mention that the Trish you're talking about used to work at Cricket New South Wales many years ago. I worked there as well. And
played there and played for New South Wales.
Indeed. And so good to see you supporting that cause in particular. Look, yeah, Ian Botham's going to be out. He's arriving in the next few days, I believe. Has a double-hatted role this summer, one as commentator and leading light in terms of analysing the game in front of us, but also he's here as part of his role as trade envoy on behalf of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. So we look forward to doing a lot of work with him over the next few months whilst he's here, just to encourage Brits to think about exporting here to Australia, but also to just build on that relationship. Hopefully the FTA will be signed in the next few weeks as well, which will sort of give it some added momentum. And we'll really look at how we can engage people with him and through him into the UK market as well. So a great opportunity for us to all think about as we build out of the COVID response that we've all needed to take. What's next for us? Well, there's no better place to go and sell and ply your wares than in the United Kingdom, and I encourage you to do so, and Beefy will be a big part of that story for us in the next few months.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be a glass of something right next to Sir Ian Botham, having worked with him over many, many years. Look, Dave, always great to chat. Let's catch up real soon.
Look forward to it, Tim. Cheers.